Hi, Wall Street Bets New. Today we're going to be taking a look at GameStop on a technical level. Going to be taking a look at the higher time frames all the way from the 1 week down to the 15 minute to get things started. Going to start putting up these videos more consistently, just daily updates on GameStop, primarily the technicals, but also the fundamentals when interesting things are happening in the news, and just in general on Reddit. If those of you who are interested in me looking at other stocks on a technical level, feel free to put them in the comments and also feel free to like and subscribe. So here we have GameStop on the 1 week chart. Just kind of nice to look at these equities on a higher time frame to get an idea of how things are looking. And as we can see, even though this week is red, GameStop has had some very nice support above this 150 area. So we can definitely mark off this area of the chart. As we can see in late March and just last week, we can see these two wicks to the downside get down to the 120 area and the 130 area, and both of them get bought back up and close above the 150. So I would say as long as GameStop's above 150 and actually bouncing off of it, things do look okay. The momentum oscillators down here on the 1 week are looking a little bit neutral, potentially weak. We have RSI resting right above the midline, kind of in a flat pattern, and stochastics actually crossing down a bit low in the range. So we have mixed signals on oscillators, but ultimately, as long as the weekly candle stays above 150, things are looking pretty okay for GameStop. So now to the 1 day chart. Let's zoom out here so we can get a more zoomed out look on GameStop. Obviously, we go back to the end of January and we see the huge pump on GameStop all the way from $40 up to almost $500. Since then, it's come back down. But overall, we're seeing a nice consolidation pattern on GameStop. And typically, when you see this kind of consolidation after a stock has had quite a move, this is in the long term what you want to see, right? You want to see the stock come up. Now, GameStop compared to where it was back in early January is about 4 times the price, right? So this is still a for GameStop. This is still relatively pretty high, and we can see very clearly here that GameStop is finding some support in the 150 area. Now, there's a few EMAs that are worth paying attention to here. We can see that the lows in late March were both caught by both these days were both found caught by the 1 day 55. That's this green line, and then again, just last week, price action found support on the 1 day 55. We can also see here so that the green line is the 1 day 55 EMA, and the blue line is the 50-day SMA. So we can clearly see price action getting bought up off this area, which is a good sign of support. So in the future, I would watch for this 1 day 55 to see if we do get further tests, do we see price action get bought up off of it? Though on the other side, we are now seeing price action just last Friday get rejected by the 1 day 21. That's this yellow line. So now we kind of have price action in this small range between the 1 day 55 and the 1 day 21, the yellow and green line. What I'm waiting for to see here is, do we break down below the 1 day 55 or back above the 1 day 21? And typically, when you're in this pattern, you kind of want to look for the oscillators to see some hints, right? Are they giving buy signals or sell signals? And right now, we see the RSI right on the midline kind of flattening out. It is below its EMA, which is this white line here. So more of a neutral look. And stochastics, though, actually kind of low in the range and crossing back up. So we have stochastics looking a little bit more bullish and RSI looking a little bit more neutral. So we probably have to wait here to see a clear signal. But at the moment, just more of a consolidation, which overall is not a bad thing. So now down to the 4 hour time frame, and we see a little bit more of the same. Um, what we do see here, though, is we actually see this 4 hour 21 crossing below the 4 hour 55. So we see the yellow line crossing below the green line, and this is typically the beginning of this is typically looked at as a bearish cross, right? Because we have the major EMAs crossing to the downside. And what do we see here on price action? We see price action testing this cross once on April 14th and again on April 19th, both times leading to a rejection of those areas. So I really do want to see price action get back over this 21 and 55 4 hour EMAs to get a little bit more bullish. For now, as long as these EMAs are holding down price action, we could potentially see some more downside. Now, looking at the oscillators, though, on the 4 hour, we do have stochastics in a very, very bullish posture, and we do have RSI also above its EMA. And we also potentially, no, we don't, okay. But overall, RSI getting close back to the midline. I would like to see RSI back above 50 to show some strength. but at the moment, really not too much to go off of here, right? So I've been saying kind of the same thing over and over again from the higher time frames down to the lower time frames, but it's pretty clear that GME is in some sort of consolidation pattern that I think we could probably draw out with some diagonal. So let's see if we can draw something here. Right, so it does look like we have some sort of support here to the downside. Looking at it earlier, that was the 1-day 55. And then on the top side, we have this diagonal holding down price action. So I would be looking for a couple things here. Primarily, we're looking for on the 1-day chart. Let's go back there. Do we see price action break back above this 1-day 21, this yellow line, or back below this 1-day 55? As well, which way does price action break? Does it break above this diagonal trend line at the top or below this diagonal trend line at the bottom? So for the moment, we likely have one, two, let's see, we likely have about a week before this triangle pattern gets played out. So I would just be patient there, wait for a break to the upside or the downside. Of course, we're leaning towards the upside. The oscillators do look like we do likely get a break to the upside, so I would wait for that. And that is today's technical analysis on GameStop. For those of you who are interested in me taking a look at this, if there's any time frames that I missed that you'd like me to take a look at, please feel free to put them in the comments. As well as if there's any other equities you want me to take a look at tomorrow during the GameStop analysis, please feel free to post them. Thank you for watching and have a great day.